Hi and welcome to the second edition of MASTS, the online video update about what's been happening in the MASTS community this past week. On Wednesday the 8th of April we had our second MASTS webinar with Dr. Simon Waldman from the University of Hull. We had over 60 people attend the event with a live Q&A session afterwards. If you weren't able to attend, don't worry, we recorded the webinar and it was uploaded online onto our YouTube video. On Thursday the 9th, the SUPER DTP programme held its first student committee meeting. We would like to extend our congratulations to student Daniel Sloan for being elected chair and Gracie Wilson for being elected secretary. If you would like to find out more information about the SUPER DTP programme, please check out the URL provided below. I'm now going to hand over to Mark James, the Operations Director for MASTS, who will be discussing COP26, the UN Decade and the SMMR programme.
Most of you will be aware that COP26 has been postponed. It was due to take place in Glasgow in the autumn, and we had, in discussion with Marine Scotland and colleagues in the rest of the UK, been thinking about various marine-related events that we could use or progress in the margins of the COP26 meeting. Some of those events are probably still worth taking forwards, and we'll be talking to you about those over the next few weeks and looking at ways that we might be able to plan those events, because we still think it's important to raise the profile of climate science, and particularly the climate science that's taking place in the marine environment. And that's probably doubly important at the moment as we move out of a COVID situation where many countries will be needing to recover their economies. And it's important that we do actually keep that focus on climate change and sustainability and all the activities that need to take place around reducing our carbon footprints, for example. Moving on to the UN Decade of Ocean Science. This is starting in 2021. There's been a preparatory period of 18 to 24 months where a series of high-level regional meetings have taken place, and MASTS has had some input to those meetings through, for example, Professor Colin Moffat and Marine Scotland. We've also had representation through the European Marine Board, and perhaps more directly through the Marine Science Coordination Committee International Group led by the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, and we've been able to interact through the MSCC to be able to provide MASTS views on that. This week we've been responding to a consultation on the implementation plan for the UN Ocean Decade. Again, it's quite a high-level document, but it does set out some criteria for which we can potentially badge projects or programs of work under the UN Decade. And we think that's really a great platform and possibly an excellent catalyst for promoting marine science and marine science in Scotland specifically. The consultation, again, is quite high level, and part of our, if you like, critique of that is the need for projects and programs that take place at a local level and a regional scale with respect to the Sustainable Development Goals, that they are properly recognised and can be integrated into the UN Decade programme. We are aware that moves are afoot to engage with the Royal Society to help promote more academic input to the UN Decade, and that's an ongoing process at the moment, and that hopefully that dialogue will then extend from the Royal Society into the UK Research Council so that we can have hopefully a much more coordinated effort over the duration of the decade. We'll keep you posted on that. Last item for today is the Sustainable Management of Marine Resources programme. You'll be aware that there was a workshop on the 31st of March, which took place. The website for the SMMR programme was launched last night, and the presentations from the SMMR workshop are now lodged on the website, and very shortly you should also be able to see a summary of the breakout sessions. It's really just a brief note of the comments and the observations that were made by those people involved in those breakout sessions, and hopefully you'll be able to find it useful if you're thinking about developing proposals. Additional information will be available on the website, filtering out over the next few days and after the Easter period, particularly with respect to a frequently asked questions document, which will also hopefully be useful to you. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch up again next week.
And lastly, a date for everyone's calendar. On the 8th of June, it is the UN World Ocean Day. This happens every year, and this year there is a photo competition that is free and open to anyone. If you would like to participate, the deadline is on the 30th of April, and more information can be found on the link shown below. So that's everything from MASTS this past week. Have a great weekend and happy Easter.